Welcome to the senior parent meeting presentation. Please note I will be sharing this with you all as well as the physical PowerPoint to this. So please follow along if you want to know all things that seniors need to know for their year. So what do you want to do? College, military, trade school, workforce, or still thinking about it? There is a place for everyone. So school links, where all roads lead to and from. So just for your information, anything that is in teal is a link. So once you do have this presentation, you can click this link and it will take you to School Links. But School Links is the Fort Bend software platform that supports students as they navigate their college and career planning process. Students can access School Links through Clever. Parents can also access School Links with a claim code from their student. Students will use School Links for submitting verification for financial aid, researching and applying for scholarships, managing their college applications, requesting their transcripts and letter of recommendation, submitting enrollment decisions, and requesting final transcripts. So each grade level does have different required tasks set forth by the district. These are the senior year tasks. So for the fall, they are going to create a SMART goal for the year, update their profile and resume, explore careers, update post-secondary goals, set up their scholarship match profile, complete the FAFSA and TASFA. In the spring, they'll upload proof of FAFSA TASFA completion, record college acceptances, add college financial aid letters and scholarships, set up their personal account for alumni access. In case you didn't know, School Links is a forever account. And then their senior year-end activity. This is how you will request your final transcript and tell us where it needs to be sent. So I did go over this with majority of the seniors in the senior presentations, but in case you haven't done this yet, I did make a helpful follow-along video. There are 2 questions on here that the answers can't be changed, so I highly recommend you either scan the QR code or click the link and follow along. But yeah. So if you're interested in the military, there are different military academies that are highly competitive and prepare students for service in the officer corps of the Army, Navy, or Air Force. The names of these academies are the U.S. Military Academy at West Point, the U.S. Naval Academy, and then the U.S. Air Force Academy. So the Reserved Officer Training Corps, aka ROTC, is a college-based program for training commissioned officers of the United States Armed Forces. The ROTC scholarship is viable at many different colleges and universities and includes full tuition benefits. Enlistment in active duty or in the reserves requires a commitment of 4 to 5 years depending on the branch. Ms. Whaley can assist with connecting you with a local recruiter, helping to identify the variety of MOSs available that are tailored to your skill set, and registration for the ASVAB administration to identify an appropriate military career. I will say though that the ROTC scholarships, some of them do not require enlistment in the military, which is really, really awesome. So if you do change your mind, that's completely okay. But you might lose out on the scholarship, but at least for that first year when you're still finding out, you'll get your tuition paid for. So if you're interested in taking the ASVAB, which is the Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery, it's an exam given for those interested in military enlistment to show aptitude for an individual. These scores determine what military jobs a student may be able to pursue. So I highly recommend students study for this and take it as seriously as a SAT and ACT, because if you do poorly, which there's not really such thing as poorly, but you won't get access to those higher paying military jobs off the bat. ACHS does plan to host the ASVAB early next semester. However, the date is yet to be determined, but students can register to be on the list of students testing by scanning the QR code or clicking this link, and then those students will be the first to know once the date has been decided. Just because it's an all-day exam, we have to find out what day is good, because we prioritize instruction at ACHS. So if you're interested in going into the workforce, here's a couple of tips I would recommend. So Research careers that match your interests. So use tools like Schoollinks, Texas Reality Check, or Career One Stop, and ask yourself, what am I good at? What do I enjoy? For example, if you're interested in video games, you might be interested in becoming a video game developer. Build your resume. So include part-time jobs, internships, volunteering, and leadership roles. This helps to track your skills and accomplishments also. And then gain experience. You can look for summer jobs, apprenticeships, or job shadowing, and attend any career fairs or industry panels. You can learn about certification programs, explore different trade schools or community college programs, or you can check out the dual credit or CTE pathways that we offer. You can also talk to people in the field, so conduct informational interviews, ask teachers, families, or mentors about their career paths to help you decide what you want to do. So what should I do and when? So the first quarter has already passed, but it would have been March to August. So you would have wanted to make your college or trade school list based on your goals. Request fee waivers for college entrance exams or application fees. This is only for those on free and reduced lunch. Take your schedule, your ACT or SAT. Write your college essays, update your resume, tour your schools if you haven't already. Consider which teachers you will approach about writing letters of rec, and create your account on your application platforms of choice. So we're currently in quarter 2, which is September to October. So you do want to reapply for free and reduced lunch if you think you qualify. This is how you get those free SAT or ACT tests, but it can also be free college application fees if you're on free and reduced lunch. So make sure to reapply for that. Continue to work on your applications on your platform of choice. Attend the district college fairs on October 1st or 8th. So October 1st is at Bush, the 8th is at Hightower. Complete your FAFSA and TASFA in October and upload proof in Schoollinks to satisfy your graduation requirement. So the TASFA opens up October 1st. The FAFSA is already open. Update your Schoollinks account with your personal email address. This helps you get that alumni access so that you can have it forever. Request teacher letter of recs in Schoollinks, and then when you add applications in Schoollinks, these last two are done automatically, so it will automatically request a counselor rec and school report in Schoollinks and your initial transcripts in Schoollinks. These two are when you add an application to Schoollinks. So quarter 3 is November to February, so this is when you start applying for school-based scholarships, submit applications to colleges with November to February deadlines to ensure you don't miss out on scholarships. I recommend this for all applications. It seems like a daunting process, but it's actually really easy to apply, and I can totally help. Just come to the College and Career Readiness Center, and I'll help you through it all. That way you don't miss out on all those scholarships, because the earlier you submit, the more scholarship opportunities you have. Take the ASVAB if you're planning on joining the military. Ensure mid-year transcripts are sent to your schools who require them. This is around mid-January. And bookmark all portals and save the passwords to them. So the last quarter is March through May. You want to have applied for housing. So a lot of colleges do require you to live on campus for your first year in a dorm. So make sure that you apply for the housing, because you want the best option. If you wait till the last minute, you might get the worst options, and some of them you might not be able to afford the only options that are left. So you do want to apply for housing. If you know earlier than this, please apply earlier than that, of what school you're going to. And then you do want to take the TSI if necessary so that you can get your CCMR point. Submit all scholarships earned into Schoollinks. Make final transcript requests in Schoollinks. Register for new student orientation at your university. Please register for the earliest date possible, because during this you're going to be registering for your classes, and if you do the last day, then you'll have the last day to choose your classes compared to everybody else, and you guys are already going to get the last choices of classes because seniors, juniors, and sophomores will have had priority and got the best professors. And then you will schedule your meningitis shot, request on-ramps or dual credit transcripts from UT or HCC, and then lastly, but not least, graduate and celebrate. So helpful handouts, I did pass this out during the senior parent meeting, but it is available here if you scan the QR code or click this link. But this is basically going over the 4 quarters of senior year that I just went over. And then we have the college information tracker. So this is super helpful now that you're not able to have your phones. It helps track all those passwords, let's say for College Board, which is where you will send your SAT and AP exam scores. Your Applied Texas if you're staying in Texas, or Common App if you're applying out of state, those logins, as well as your FAFSA, TASFA. And then it just helps you, have all this information. So if you want to know what your rank is, you can find it in School Links by logging in, clicking student, and then clicking scores and performance, and it'll be at the top. And then you can find your SAT score in the same spot actually, but you can also find it this way. You can download the app, or you can log in to College Board, and that login you will put here. To have this sheet, you just scan this QR code or click this link here. But it's also helpful because each college will send you a different username and password, and it's going to be so hard to keep track of all the different password requirements. So just write all that down here. And it also helps you keep track of all the things you need to do, like sending your transcripts, sending your test scores if it was required, fee waiver if you're on free and reduced lunch, and financial aid should be done for everybody. Then we have this automatic admission requirements sheet. The link is here, as well as the QR code for it here. But this is super helpful because once you find out what your quartile is, by the way, a quartile is just a fancy word for 1/4 of your class. So think of your class like a pizza cut into 4 equal slices. Top 25 is the first quartile, top 50 second, top 75 is third, and then of course the fourth quartile is anything after 75. In order to find out what your quartile is, you're going to take your class rank divided by the total number of students in your class, and then you'll turn that number into percentage. So, example, if you're ranked 322 out of 552 students, when you divide that, you get 0.58, which is 58%. So that would mean in this example, you're in the third quartile because you're between 50 and 75. For that, you would go over here and you would look for a third quartile. So that would be this one here, this pink one. What you're going to do is you're going to go to each university and go down all the way to that quartile and see what it says. So on this case, for Angelo State, you would be individual review where they look at all your clubs and all of that. But let's just say for Lamar, when you go down, you would see that the SAT score needed to get automatic admit is 1080, or the ACT score is 21. There are some colleges like Concordia University where if you just have a GPA of a 2.5 and above, you get automatically admitted. But let's just say for Lamar University, it does need you to have a 1080. In case you do have a 1080, you will have to share that as well as your rank, because otherwise they won't be able to know that you're in the third quartile. So there is a button in School Links where you have to notate, share your rank, and this button can't be changed after a certain date. I think it's October 22nd, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe it's the 2nd. I gotta check. But if you think that you might have clicked the wrong button, please let me know and I can help get that fixed up to that date. So you can also make a college list of trade schools and colleges in School Links. So whenever you do this, you do want to make at least 5 to 7 schools on this list and have at least 2 target schools, 1 reach school, and 2 safety schools. In order to do this, you'll go in School Links and click colleges and then school search. And you can adjust the filters to meet your needs based on your school type, campus location, accepted rates, and more. And you'll click the heart to add any school to your list of favorites. And then you can go to the final list and add the colleges from your favorite list to one of the 4 categories, which is target, reached, safety, and all that. So college admissions and enrollment exams. So some schools are test required, but some are test optional. A lot of them have moved over, so be sure that you know what is required for your schools of choice. Students send their own scores via mysat.org or myact.org. ACHS cannot send them, unfortunately, and the same goes for AP exam scores, which are all in the College Board account. Most schools accept either the SAT or ACT. All 4 Bend juniors did take the SAT March 5th, 2025, so you should have those scores. Those scores can be used for merit-based scholarships and used for TSI exemption at public Texas schools. Any students on free and reduced lunch are eligible for a complete fee waiver. You don't have to pay anything. If this happens to apply to you, please reach out to Ms. Whaley for fee waivers. Okay, so you can find this flyer here, or you can scan the QR code. But basically, these are all the college entrance exams that are now hosted at Crawford. We're not on the complete schedule for either SAT or ACT, so make sure that you know that we're only hosting on these days, and you can register via mysat.org or myact.org. We cannot register you except for when juniors will take it, which is the only time that we register the students, but other than that, you will have to do it on your own. If you're not on free and reduced lunch, these are the cost. If you're late, there will be an additional fee for both. And then you can click those links at the bottom as well once you're in this link here, and you can have online test prep. So Ms. Dutton is the SAT coordinator and I am the ACT coordinator, in case you didn't know. So here's another link if you want to apply for free and reduced lunch. I highly recommend this. Of course, for those, if your student qualifies for free and reduced lunch, their SAT and ACT fees, along with many college application fees, could be waived. And apparently you can also get discounted rates on internet services, which I'm sure we all would love. Eligible students must indicate their desire to use a fee waiver in School Links for college apps. If they don't, then it won't automatically be applied and you will have to pay. So make sure that whenever you set up your college application manager, which was that YouTube video I had in the beginning, that you do this and make sure that you notate that you're on free and reduced lunch if you are. And so we have some college enrollment benchmarks. So many schools require that students demonstrate college readiness in order to enroll in classes. Enrollment is different than admission. So Texas public colleges and universities require students exhibit this through test scores. So for ACT, these are the scores, SAT, these are the scores, and TSI, these are the scores. I do believe that you can interchange them. So in case you met the score in reading and writing on ACT and then met the math on SAT, I think it can work that way. It does for sure for your CCMR point. So all of these scores can also get students their CCMR point. What does CCMR point mean? So all of these CCMR categories, so if you pass the TSI, dual credit, if it's ELA or math for dual credit, then you get it automatically. But if it's anything else, it would have to be 9 hours total. For UT on-ramps, I think it's just at least 1 semester and then you get it. And then a score of 3 or better on AP exam. We're not an early college, so this wouldn't happen. But yeah, those on-ramps. And then industry-based certification and complete your CT pathway. So the and part is new, and you will have to complete the entire program in order to get the point, which is often the last semester of your senior year. You can also graduate with an IEP with workforce readiness, graduate under an advanced diploma plan, and be identified as a current SPED student. You can also, this is for PTech students only, so that one wouldn't work for us, but enlist in the armed forces, which you can't technically do until after you graduate, but that SAT, ACT, and then for the college prep, that's the Texas College Bridge, which I'll go over in the next slide. But if you do any of these, you can also get a graduation cord. but any students who meet any of the requirements can also earn their name on the CCMR Wall of Fame, which is held in the College and Career Readiness Center. It's a huge whiteboard, and I post it and I update it very often. So I'm hoping soon that all of your names will be on this side soon. So Texas College Bridge is that college prep math section I was talking about. So Texas College Bridge is basically an online college preparatory course meant to set students up for post-secondary success. We do have this here on our campus for 1st and 7th period. And you can click this link and it'll take you to all the partners, which are listed here. So when students graduate high school, students can earn a TSI exemption at more than 100 partnering colleges and universities across Texas, which are listed here. That way you don't have to be put into those remediation courses if you didn't happen to, pass your SAT or ACT. To enroll in Texas College Bridge for that 1st or 7th period, students should go to their counselor's office for either an off-campus or office aid form, depending on which one they would want after they pass the class. So in addition to getting a cord and earning their name on the CCMR Wall of Fame, students can also get office aid or off-campus only after they obtain that point. And Texas College Bridge is an additional way, just because I know even myself, I'm not a good test taker. Not everybody is. And so this is another way for students to earn that point, get that cord, get their name on the board. But also for sure, which I know a lot more students more care about, is that off-campus or office aid. So once the form is submitted, the counselor will review it and determine on a case-by-case basis if the class can be added to the student's schedule. So if in the event your child or the student happens to be in every single class that they need in order to graduate, then it might not fit in their schedule, and that's why it's on a case-by-case basis. So creating your application. There are different college application platforms. So we do have Apply Texas. If you plan on staying in Texas, this might be your best bet. This hosts all Texas public and most Texas private colleges. Then we have Common App, which hosts 20 Texas universities and more than 1,000 others worldwide. So if you plan on even applying just to one out of state, then you might want to use Common App. Then we have Coalition. This has 6 Texas universities and more than 175 others nationally. I really like this one. This is the Common Black College application. This is where you can apply to more than 50 HBCUs on one application, and it only costs $20 across the board. And then, of course, there are some colleges and universities that have their own application process where they're not on any of these. So make sure that you check and see which one your colleges are on. But regardless of which platform you choose, please make sure that you create your account with your personal email address. You don't want to use your school email address because it will shut down at graduation, and you might need to access these sites afterward. I do have helpful YouTube videos. If you click this, it'll have all the videos that I have. So follow that if you haven't already. Subscribe. But I do on there have how to create an Apply Texas account and how to create a Common App account, which are the most common ones. So you can click the link, scan the QR code to go to these videos. Also, in case you're not on free or reduced lunch, you might want to take advantage of the free college application week, which just so happens to be during our fall break, October 13th through 17th. Sorry about that bell, guys. But yeah, so basically any application that you apply during that week will be free. So you won't be charged, because applications can range from, some of them are free, but not all of them, but from $25 to $100 and something. So that money does add up, and you would love to take advantage of this. I do know that on Common App for UT, they are also accepting it free just that week, but UT is the only one that said that. I don't think any other school, at least for sure not A&M, is doing that, just because they do get charged per application to these platforms. So The college application process. So the process is you submit your application using that platform you chose. Make sure that your application is listed in Schoollinks. This is super important, okay? So if you are using Common App, then it will be automatically updated once you complete. But any of those other ones, like Apply Texas, Coalition, Common Black College App, all of those, you will have to add them manually. And you have to do it for every single one, because otherwise your counselors won't be able to know where to send your documents. So make sure that your application is listed. That's huge. And then you'll log into your college portals as soon as you receive the login information, and make sure to put that on the college information tracker so you don't lose the login. And then you'll pay your application fee. Oh, sorry about that. I don't know what happened. Or request a fee waiver in Schoollinks. You can also send your test scores through College Board or ACT if applicable, and request teacher/counselor recommendations in person and follow up with Schoollinks request. So there are different college application deadline types. So we have early decision, aka ED. There are 2 different rounds for this, by the way, so if you don't get in the first round, you can try again the second round. But please know that this is a binding commitment in which if you are accepted, you are obligated to attend, and you will have to withdraw all of your other applications. You can only apply to one school ED, and most ED deadlines are in November. So you only apply if the school is your top choice and you are certain you are able to afford it, because if they don't give you any scholarships, then you still have to go. And then early action, I highly recommend this, especially if you guys are already submitting applications, so that you can get those benefits such as scholarships. Luckily, this one is a non-binding commitment, and you can apply to multiple schools EA. The only time you can't is whenever it's a restrictive early action, where it only lets you do one, but it's still not binding like ED. But most EA deadlines are in November to January, so make sure to keep an eye out on when that is. And then I also recommend priority. This is another way for you to get more scholarship opportunities, so please submit as early as possible. This is also non-binding, and you can apply to multiple schools this way, and most deadlines are in November or December, and they will all also give you early notification on if you got accepted or not, but it will provide early consideration for those scholarships, so I highly recommend this. And then regular deadlines, these are in January or February, and you can apply to multiple schools this way. For UT and A&M, it is December 1st, so please make sure that you know that. But yeah, I recommend these 2 more than regular, because you'll miss out on all those scholarships. So what is holistic review? Holistic review looks at the entire student in and out of the classroom. So the review committee will examine the traditional test scores, classroom grades, but they will also assess the applicant's achievements, work experience, extracurricular activities, essays, and more. It looks at who the student is in their heart and in their head. The pro is it provides colleges an expanded look at a student beyond the traditional. The con is that it does take longer to receive admissions decisions, as the committees take adequate time to review all those essays and extracurriculars and things. While some schools still have auto-admit based on numbers, more and more are incorporating this holistic process to round out their student body. So college apps and Schoollinks, again, they must be added in order to request transcripts, recommendations, application fee waivers, and so that counselors can complete their required documentation. So adding a college application to Schoollinks will automatically trigger a transcript request, and for counselors, their letter of rec if they need it for like Common App. So this is what it looks like. So it looks like on this side UTSA is incomplete. In order to update this, you'll just click this pencil. Sometimes you might have to mark off some to-do tasks like, hey, don't forget to send your scores, your SAT scores. And then it'll let you click complete, and then it'll move to this side. The only one, again, that will automatically update is Common App. So if you completed it, it will move on its own. Other than that, you will have to do this manually for all of them. You will also have to do manually even Common App once you get accepted or you get deferred or all those. You need to update that in SchoolLink. So this is an expanded view of the college applications page. So once you click that pencil, these are those checklist items I was telling you that they might need you to do in order for it to be changed to complete. There is a button that says mark all as complete so that you don't have to go one by one. But yeah, sometimes you might need to do this in order for the status to change. This is how you request teacher's recommendation. You just click this little plus button. If the teacher happens to be out of district, you can add them manually. You just need their email and it'll go to their email, similar to this. And then counselor documents, so then you will be able to see whether your documents have been sent. If it is red like this, then it has not been sent. If it is green, it has been sent. So if it happens to be close to the deadline, you might want to give your counselor a respectful and gentle nudge, as they are also being counselors throughout the day, counseling students and such. So whenever it comes to requesting letters of recommendations, there is a brag sheet requirement. This is no ifs, ands, or buts. So in order to complete that brag sheet, it's in the same exact place as your college applications. So you see how it says complete, incomplete here? That was the same page we were just on. So it's going to be here to the left, right above where you connect your Common App account. And so if you don't know, you can link your your Common App account automatically here. But you do need to complete this brag sheet. And you need to give your recommenders at least 3 weeks to write these letter of recs. And you do want to ask those who know you well enough to highlight your strengths. But please remember that quality letters do take time, which is why you need those 3 weeks. And our timeline has no exceptions. So if you don't know how to request, these are the steps. And this was posted on our social media, on the Schoology group that seniors should have already joined. But yeah, this is the how-to. So ranking, transcripts, and college apps. So Fort Bend provides rank and quartile to a student separate from the transcript. The rank document is actually no longer available in Skyward. It's in SchoolLink, so make sure that you go in SchoolLinks how I showed you earlier. Rank will not be included on the transcript as articulated in the rank policy, which is basically that we are a non-ranking district. Students are allowed the ability to provide this information to colleges of their choice and the opportunity to submit this information with scholarship applications via the rank quartile notification document. Seniors have already been ranked, so please make sure to check SchoolLinks for that. And a transcript will also be run that includes all coursework up to and including summer 2025. This is in Skyward Portfolio tab. This transcript and rank will be used for most college applications. Students will have the ability in SchoolLink to select if they want to share their rank with their colleges. Please note that once a student has selected this option, they cannot change it. This goes back to that same video in the beginning on how to set up your college application manager. This has one of those 2 questions that you cannot change the answer to. So please make sure that you notate whether you do want to share if you do, or don't if you don't. Going back to the auto admissions paper that we went over, remember that third quartile example. If for the Lamar example where you needed to have a 1080 on the SAT and be in the third quartile, they won't be able to know if you're in the third quartile if you don't click share on this button. So make sure that you make the correct decision for you. I cannot make the decision for you. So yeah. So transcripts, official transcripts needed for scholarships, NCAA and AIA must be requested in SchoolLinks. To do this, you will click the student tab, then click record request, and then click send official transcript. Our registrar should process this within 1 week. If you need a dual credit or UT on-ramps transcript, make sure to request directly through HEC or UT for each school you're applying to, but only after you finish all of your classes. So if you're currently in dual credit or you're on ramps, then just wait until after you're done so that you can send the full grades and all of that. So it is a forbidden policy that a student and parent cannot request an official transcript to be handed to them. They may only access unofficial ones through Skyward Portfolio. So scholarships and financial aid. So what are scholarships? Scholarships are free money that the student does not have to pay back. They can bridge the gap between the cost of attendance and the amount of money the student has saved for college or trade school. Academic scholarships are based on GPA, test scores, and academic achievements. Merit scholarships stem from success in sports, arts, or community service. Need-based scholarships support students who demonstrate financial need. Specialized scholarships are targeted at a specific demographic, major, or career paths. And then scholarships can be funded by colleges or external organizations such as the Houston Rodeo. So on my website, the College and Career Readiness website, under Crawford, this is the entire scholarships page. So on the right here, I do have a couple trusted websites, as well as down here I have majority senior scholarships, but students can apply as early as, even elementary. But of course, since this is a high school, I do have 9 through 12 available here. And you can just click this link and it does it in chronological order. So if you want to see this page, just click this link or scan this QR code. You can also find scholarships and school links, and I did create a follow-along video on how to do that. You just click this link or scan this QR code. But yeah. Also, applying for the FAFSA and TASFA. So FAFSA is the free application for federal student aid, and TASFA is the Texas application for state financial aid. These enable students to apply for loans, grants, scholarships, and work-study programs. Both of them open up October 1st. Actually, FAFSA opened up earlier than expected, so it is open now. But I do recommend you apply by the January 15th deadline to get priority aid. After that, you might not get the full aid or full amount of scholarships that you're eligible for due to applying so late. So make sure to apply now if you can. But yeah, I'm definitely going to make sure that I promote January 15th in case we have any procrastinators. But all seniors will complete a FAFSA, TASFA, or opt-out form if they're ineligible for either. If you don't know if you're eligible for either, come see Miss Whaley and I can help you out. But as long as you do one of these, you will fulfill your graduation requirement. So, FAFSA eligibility for non-U.S. citizens. We did hear that TASFA might only be for DACA students, but I will still recommend all students apply if they don't meet any of these, because if they do, then they would obviously apply for FAFSA. So, of course, being a U.S. citizen gets you eligible to apply for FAFSA, but also being a U.S. national, which includes natives of American Samoa or Swains Island. U.S. permanent resident with either a Form I-551 or I-151. This is the permanent resident card, resident alien card, or alien registration receipt card, also known as green card. Or if you have a arrival departure record, aka I-94 from U.S. Citizen and Immigration Services, USCIS, showing one of the following: refugee, asylum granted, condition permanent resident, Cuban Haitian entrant, conditional entrant, parolee, modified parolee, which in these instances would have to be between these dates for Ukrainian citizens and Afghan citizens. And then we also have if you hold a T non-immigrant status, which is a T visa, or your parent holds one, if you're a battered immigrant qualified alien who's a victim of abuse by your citizen or permanent resident spouse, or you are a child of a person designated as such under the Violence Against Women Act, or you are a citizen of the federal states of Micronesia, the Republic of the Marshall Islands, or the Republic of Palau. If this is the case, you may be eligible for only certain types of federal student aid, which is listed here. And then certain Native American students born in Canada with a status under the Jay Treaty of 1794 may also be eligible for federal student aid. So highlights. Actually, I do want to go back to tell you about the TASFA. So in order to be eligible for TASFA, usually it's if you have been in Texas for at least 3 years up to the first day of college. So if you just so happen to have gotten here last year, you would be ineligible for both FAFSA and TASFA, and so that's whenever you would do an opt-out form. So yeah. And all 3 of those need to be uploaded in Schoollinks to fulfill that graduation requirement. So a couple highlights to lighten the mood. Just wanted to let y'all know that I do have a celebratory backdrop. So whenever I stand in front of this, my face is definitely, you can still see the words, well, where will your road take you? I think my head is around where it says military here. But I'm also 5'1", so yeah. Any student who is accepted to a college or trade school or who gets hired for a job can take a celebratory photo in front of this backdrop. And if they want, I can post it on our social media, which I have already done in case you haven't seen it yet. But yeah, that's just to celebrate their success. Also, another fun thing that we do here is we do birthday announcements on the marquee, so that digital thing in the front of the school. So if you want to do that, feel free to scan that QR code. Oh, and also I bought one of these and I didn't know if y'all wanted to, so I wanted to share. But there's charger blankets, so if you scan that QR code, you can order it. And yeah. So senior information. So the senior sponsor did want me to share all the activities that you will be doing, as well as the packages. It looks like the first payment made via RevTrak beginning May 2025. Payment can be made at any time, but must be paid off by December 31st this year. And it's apparently non-refundable, non-transferable, and seniors can be disqualified. But yeah, these are all the activities. And then on the next slide, I do have the class of 2026 senior events. It's just going over all the things with the themes and everything listed, and then the packages restated here. So if you want more information on anything seniors, if you click this link or scan this QR code, you can go straight to it. And then college and career readiness events. So there is going to be some college fairs, district college fairs. There's one again at Bush on October 1st, and then one on October 8th at Hightower, which is the closest one near us. We will also have our own college fair November 12th from 5 to 7 p.m., so stay tuned for that. And I'm also going to host a financial aid workshop October 22nd from 5 to 7 p.m. again. But make sure to create your FAFSA accounts before the event. So yeah. And then some rep visits that we have coming up. I'm hoping to get more soon, but they are listed on the newsletter. In case you don't have the link for that, that is here. But these are the upcoming rep visits: the U.S. Air Force, Sam Houston State University, Stephen F. Austin University, Blinn College, and students are required to register. So if you want to do that, please click on these links for those. And then please follow the CCR Center on social media. These are the @ for them. I know that students like to use this one, so everything that I post on one, I post on the other one. That way, in case you don't have this one, but you have Facebook, let's say, then you'll still see the same thing that anybody else saw. And you can also scan this QR code to save my information, my phone number, my email, and all of these accounts on there, as well as the CCR website, which houses, scholarships, college information, everything that you need to know. It's all on this website. If you just type this link, and it's case sensitive, by the way, you'll be able to see everything. But yeah, if you scan this QR code, it'll save that contact information as a contact card in your phone. It's super cool. So that is that. So finally, let's get ready for your senior year, class of 2026. This is your time. A few tips: please make sure to know your goals, stay organized, ask questions early, meet your deadlines, but most importantly, enjoy the moments. Whether you're headed out to college, the military, or even career, or maybe even still figuring it out, just know that senior year is about setting yourself up for success. And I'm here to support you every step of the way. So feel free to come hang out with Miss Whaley in room H102 to work on all of these things. If you need anything, just let me know. All right, thanks guys.